With the victory over Chapman, the Blue Jays would advance to the winner's bracket final. Their opponent, undefeated Trinity College, champions of the New England region. This matchup was mildly ironic based on comments made on the team's radio show earlier in the month.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I need to get this one last comment.
All right,
because I saw the rankings, and we have to at least comment, of course, on the Trinity, Connecticut Bantams. So you're 27-0. You have played nowhere.
St. Lawrence, St. Michael. I mean, this is like a Catholic league.
You went to extra innings with Bowden. Those kids looked like they were disabled in Arizona. Give me a break. Get the hell out of here. This is ridiculous. It's making me mad. The New York Times did an article on these clowns. Bring them down here.
At that time, little did we know.
We are going to practice prior to the biggest game of all of our careers against 43-0 Trinity. I'm feeling good about it.
In this monumental game, the Blue Jays would send to the mound senior pitcher Brian Duddy. But the undefeated Bantams from Trinity College would get on the board early. They would score 3 runs in the bottom of the first, taking a 3-0 lead. The Blue Jays would get a run back, but it would be quickly erased as Trinity right fielder James Wood fired a laser over the center field wall. And the Blue Jays offense was stifled in the early part of this game. Following the rain delay, Trinity would score again in the bottom of the 4th and would lead the Blue Jays 5-1 as John Solomon and the Blue Jays came to bat in the 5th.
Let's go,
Benchner's double down the left field line would score Solomon, and the Blue Jays had cut the lead to 5-2. But Trinity answered back and led the Blue Jays 6-2 in the top of the 8th. If the Blue Jays were going to make a move, time was running short. The lead had been cut all the way to 6-4, and Tony Morgway stepped to the plate as the go-ahead run with 2 outs in the 8th. The first pitch was a slider low and away that Tony laid off of, and the next pitch would bring the loudest roar I ever remember at a baseball game. At first glance, it was a go-ahead 3-run homer, but it was the worst-case scenario for the Blue Jays. It was ruled a ground rule double, and only 1 run was allowed to score, and the Blue Jays still trailed 6-5 with runners on second and third.
Oh, the call is terrible.
And Trinity brought in pitcher Michael Regan to face Matt Benchner with the game on the line. As the game crossed into the bottom of the 8th, Trinity would expand their lead with a single off the bat of Tim Bordone. Hopkins' final chance for a comeback would come and go as Michael Regan closed the door in the 9th.
The Johns Hopkins
Despite their devastating loss to Trinity, Hopkins could still make it back to the championship game of this double elimination tournament with a victory over number 5 ranked Wisconsin Whitewater and their high-powered offense. Game number 4. Win this, make it to the championship round. I feel confident. We got Todd with us. Two of the best offenses in all the country came together in this semifinal match, as this game quickly turned into a classic slugfest. The offense started right away in this one as Todd Emmer lined an RBI single to right, bringing the leadoff hitter Jonas Fester in to score. Wisconsin Whitewater would waste little time in pulling even as Kevin Zalnis blasted his 19th home run in the top of the second.
Zalnis goes down the right field line. It might carry, and it does for a home run. Zalnis, a big, strong hitter, got it up to the jet stream for his third home run.
Hopkins led 3-2 as Joe Munn stepped to the plate in the top of the third.
Long, high in the air to right. Going back, you check. He'll run out of room. Gone! And just like that, Whitewater regains the lead.
Even though Whitewater had just taken a 4-3 lead, the Blue Jays would answer right back.
Oh, yes!
Benchner would triple to the right center field gap, tying the score and putting himself at third base with less than 2 outs. And the next hitter, Nate Edelman, would smoke a line drive into right field, putting the Blue Jays back on top 5-4.
First pitch swing, base hit to right.
After trading blows in the 5th, the Blue Jays' lead was 7-6 as center fielder Rob Petroforte came to bat with 2 runners on. Petroforte's 2-run double put the Blue Jays up 9-6 going to the 7th inning. But that lead would be quickly erased as well. With 2 outs, down by 3, the Warhawks would load the bases in the top of the 7th.
Munn's been a real efficient in this play. Mung to right, in the corner. If it's fair, it is fair. This may clear the bases. It will. Mung heading for third. We're tied at 9. Munn's had a little bit of an impact too. Wow.
And this epic battle was still tied in the 9th as Whitewater had the go-ahead run on second base with 2 outs.
Certainly a dramatic moment. Whitewater looking to break an 11-11 tie. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 call.
Matt Wiegand would come up with a huge strikeout, and if Hopkins could push just 1 across in the bottom half of the inning, they would find themselves on their way to the national championship game. And leading off the 9th, Solomon ripped a double into the gap in left center, and the Blue Jays had a runner on second with no outs. An intentional walk to Huseman, and a base hit bunt by Dan Merzel would load the bases, with the Blue Jays needing 1 run to win the game.
Good man, Nate, right here, right now. They gotta go home.
You know, on the bench, I remember thinking Jonas is the guy on up right now. He just gets big hits. And off the top of my head, 2007 regional championship game, we're trailing by 2 in the 8th. What does he do? I mean, he fires one over the left field wall and ties the game. That's just the kind of player that he is. He just finds a way to get it done. And even though I was nervous, I knew that he would get that run in.
Trying not to think, you're just trying to react, and everything that you learned in the season, you just try to implement. And he was throwing, I knew he was throwing like a little splitter thing, and he left it up, and it just didn't really have much break to it. And I just knew if I hit the ball hard on the ground somewhere, it could squeak through the infield. Hard down through the middle, and that's kind of what happened, and it just worked out.
There we go.
That game-winning hit by Fester was his 5th hit of the game, and the Blue Jays defeated Whitewater 12-11.